All right, well, welcome, John. This is Scotty O with Ecstatic Hearts, and we are going to do a coaching session here live. Thank you for the courage of being up here so other people can see you and learn from our experience. Basically, there's two things we're going to talk about, right? We're going to just actually do a practice session of you enrolling me and also giving you maybe some coaching on where you might be getting stuck with enrollment. And just for people, the audience that are listening, enrollment from our perspective is a way of being that inspires people to take action on their dreams. And so it's a specific way to make a difference in the world. And that's what we're going to talk about. So why don't you take it away, John? You want to introduce yourself?
All right. Hello, I'm John Alexander, and I'm not sure what to say about my background. I've been studying with you for a while, gone through level 3, doing the Tantra workshops. And I admit, even though I myself have had a lot of hesitation and resistance, part of which I want to discuss today, to enrollment, I was willing to do it because I've had so much, I do want to say I've had so many times when I got uncomfortable and moved through it to better things, working together, and it's been such an amazing journey and a big part of my experience to be here and to move together into this different way of life.
Cool, and I just want to acknowledge that one of the things that we teach at Ecstatic Hearts is that in order to grow, in order to have access to a way of being or acquiring something that you don't have before, it's always outside your comfort zone or you'd always have it. So often when we're growing or expanding or becoming more enlightened or have more joy or fun or whatever it is, it's initially might feel a little uncomfortable. It might feel a little silly. It might feel a little strange or scary or lots of different ways because it's not what we're used to. So I acknowledge you, John, for having the courage to continue to take yourself on and continue to grow. And what's cool is that when you start doing it on a regular basis, it becomes easier and easier, and it soon becomes fun. Like I'm always looking for ways to stretch my comfort zone because I like the excitement and adventure and the feeling of growth that we have. So I encourage people to find ways to be uncomfortable because that's where the juiciness of life is. Yeah.
Well, you know, that has definitely been a lot of the way things have been for me since I started this program together, being pretty continuous and comfortable. But I do notice that I'm getting closer to my goals, and in some ways I'm realizing greater happiness than I had before.
So that's the question. What's your goal? Like, what is it that you're striving for that this is part of the process?
So do you mean for this conversation or in general that was a part of this process, what I put forth that
yeah.
I really...
General, just big picture. I just want to kind of get an idea where you want to
go. Big picture, my goal is to really take my storytelling to the world, to really share it and expand it. For a while, I had stopped, and actually doing this program had helped push me because I made some commitments and there were people holding me accountable. I just recently made another recording and shared some stories with some friends of mine, telling them in person, and it was great to get back into it.
Awesome. So where are you getting stopped, or like especially in the realm of enrollment?
In the realm of enrollment, I recently realized, well, there are a couple of things going on. One of them is, like when I'm trying to, so I've tried it a couple ways. I've tried trying to set up a conversation in advance and saying, let's do this special conversation I'm learning about, and it'll be about trying to help you realize your dreams or visioning or something. And I've had a couple of good friends willing to do that, but I have had issues because to me it seemed like a big deal, and I think I gave that across, and then people didn't seem as willing or didn't seem to be able to make the time easily. On the other hand, when having casual conversation and relating and just calling to talk and connect to people and trying to think about how to get that in, I feel so awkward, like I'm trying to force and push it in. And ultimately, I think I really feel like I don't have the right to do enrollment. I don't feel like like who am I to talk to people in these ways, to support them and doing their vision? Who am I to ask them what they want and act like I can and do this amazing thing to help them follow their dreams? And it just feels incredibly awkward to me, and I'm like going and then stopping and just not quite getting. Yeah, I think that's really the biggest resistance I'm having right now to enrollment.
So to answer your question, who are you? You are a divine being of light and love who is here to make an impact on the world in the biggest way you know how. It's your goal, I think, is to shine brightly and to lead the way through your own actions and show people what's possible for their lives. And, you know, so let's back it up for a little bit. You know, all you're doing is you're sharing some experiences that made a difference for you in something that you think could make a difference for someone else because you care about them, right? And so and the way I look at it is that when I don't mind talking to people, I love talking to people, right? Especially my friends. And so start with people who, you know, have a connection with, a relationship with, and so forth, who you care about. Because if you don't care about them, enrollment doesn't really work, right? This isn't a manipulation in order to force people or trick people into doing something. It's a genuine expression of wanting to make a difference for them because you really care, right? So that's step one, is relationship. And if it is someone you know, it could be someone casual, like the dry clean person or the you know, the person at the restaurant that you go to on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be a super tight friend. And sometimes for me, when I first started doing enrollment, it was easier with people I didn't know as well because I didn't have as much of an attachment to the result, but I still saw them as an amazing person. I still cared about them. I still wanted them to succeed. And along those lines, it's really tough to do like a family member or a lover or someone because you already have some pre-existing belief systems about them, and they can kind of get in your way. Like, you know, whatever their limiting conversations are, you've usually already bought into. And I'm not saying you specifically, I'm talking about most people. It's just a tougher conversation with someone. And then they, more importantly, like your parents, for instance, see you as their kid, and they already have pre-existing, you know, patterns, and it's going to make it difficult for them to actually hear you, what you have to say. Not that it can't be done, but it's just more challenge. Okay, so the first step is just care about people, right? So if you saw a great movie that you really loved, and a friend of yours was saying, man, I'm looking for a movie to watch, and I don't know what's out there that's good. Do you have anything to recommend? Would you have a problem suggesting a movie that you saw?
No, not if they ask.
Okay, got it. Now, so the key is asking. I get it. So if you saw a really great movie that like changed your life, or read a good book that like made a big difference for you, would you? And they said something along the lines of, and let's say the book or movie was around health, right? And they just said, man, like I just feel so beat up. I don't have any energy. I'm just really struggling with my health. Would you then suggest the book or movie without, like, you know, them specifically asking you for a recommendation?
Yeah, I would. I would say something like, well, you know, I've heard of this such and such, and I've done it, and it really made a big difference for me. Maybe it can help you out.
Right. And so when you're having an enrollment conversation, it can be about anything, right? You want to make sure that you truly believe in it, right? Because this isn't about, if you don't believe in it, if you don't think it worked for you personally, then don't talk about it, you know? Or, I mean, I think because it's your way of being that enrolls them, right? So if you're excited about it, if you're passionate, if you're committed, if you're, you know, if you're happy, if it's your beingness that people go, wow, I want to have what you have. Like, I want to know why you're so happy, or why you have such a great relationship, or, you know, what's going on with you, you know? So that's for me, when I'm enrolling people are always asking me questions like, so why are you so happy? Or how come you and Melanie have such a good relationship? Or what the heck are you doing sexually, or whatever, you know? So it gives me an in to say, well, let me share what is the biggest thing that's made difference in my life is Tantra. And it just naturally goes from there, right? And so, and I feel that, you know, I also hear that, like, you may think you need some expertise or something, but all you need to do is have your own experience, and it's equally valid as someone else. And it's not like everyone is different. Everyone has a different experience. So you don't have to say, you will definitely like this because I like this, but you say, hey, this thing might make a difference for you. It certainly did for me. And, you know, and maybe just a sentence or two of what it did for you or how much of an impact it made. But then you go right into asking them what they want and see if this is a fit or not. Or you just, what I typically do with people is so going back to the health example of a book or movie or something, if someone seems like they're down or they're like upset or depressed or something, I might say, hey, you know, what's going on? Are you feeling okay? Or what's, you know, I generally ask because I care. I want to know what's going on. Or if they're sharing something about a problem they had or whatnot, then if someone did that, would that also be an invitation for you to share something that might be a support? Are you with me?
No, I'm sorry. You literally had me thinking about a friend of mine and enrolling them for a second, to tell you the truth.
Good. Back to the question. If someone is just showing up as unhappy or has a cough or, there's just something that, they don't up, would you be comfortable saying, hey, are you okay? Or what's going on with you? Or you seem a little off, like that.
Yeah.
And then if, well, actually, I'm not feeling well, or I just broke up with my girlfriend, or blah, blah, blah. Then again, that's an opening to say, well, first of all, you want to listen to them, right? Like, let them vent, let them say what's going on and whatnot, because you got to show you care before they care how much you know. And then, and only if there's something you feel would make a difference for them, then you can share whatever you think will make a difference for them, right? So for me, I recommend books and movies and classes and workshops and experiences and coaching and anything or just one thing that I think might make a difference for them,
And I don't actually lack of knowledge of things to recommend. But
one more time.
I said I don't have any lack of knowledge of things, different things to recommend. A part of me kind of feels like it's almost an imposition, or that it's weird to introduce and start saying, having a conversation, hearing about what they're doing, and saying, well, what do you really want? What do you want? It seems almost overly serious or something.
Yeah. And that's the situation where just a blank slate, they're happy, everything seems to be going great. But I just asked you, like, what do you want, like, down the line and so forth? Did you feel weird, or that I was like, just coming out of the blue, or what right do I have to ask you what you want in your future?
No, but I thought we were kind of preparing for this call and setting it up.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I ask people that just because, when we're communicating with people, we can talk about the weather or something surfacey, and that doesn't really make much of a difference, in my opinion, in the world. And it's not something that really engages me or excites me. I'm a nosy person, and I like to find out about people's love lives, and I like to find out about what's exciting for them. I like to find out what they're passionate about. So one of the questions I often ask them when I've just met is like, so what are you excited about? What are you passionate about? Like, I don't like, not what they do for work or what I just say, what do you want? Like, what are your gifts? And because I like talking about passions. And so that's a great opening line I have with strangers, and they say, oh, I love this and this. And if it's something I'm interested in, I say, cool, tell me more. I'm interested in this too. And it's called, engaging in a conversation about something that's meaningful. And then along those lines, then I might say, well, what's your end goal? What do you want 5 years from now? And the thing that's really powerful about this is that there is not a question that usually gets asked. It's something that most people don't talk about because it is a little edgy, a little scary. And a lot of times you go, well, I don't know, or whatever. But I've seen over and over again, just by asking the question, just by showing you care, just by having them take a minute and think about it, it can actually create breakthroughs for people, because they're like, wow, never really thought about what I wanted. I've just kind of been going through life, doing what people tell me, going to school, getting the job, blah, blah, blah. But what I really want is X, And then once they share something, and sometimes you got to dig a little bit to find out, then, and what I mean by that is, like, if they're like, oh, I don't know, or say, I would just do something like, well, guess, like, well, if you're a kid in a candy store, like, just let go of your adult sensibilities or trying to figure out how, or let go, I don't know how to do it. Just, if I was your genie and I was granting you a wish, what would it be, And that way, just get into their little imagination. And when they say something, if it's something that I think I can support them in, then of course I want to tell them what I think that might support them along the way, And if we're talking about a tantra workshop or something, like sexual empowerment works with having people own who they are as sexual beings. It helps them get rid of limiting conversations in their mind. It eliminates stress, guilt, shame. It's a great way to heal trauma. It's someone, if they want to have a more empowered love life, if they want to go find the love of their life, or they want to create a more deeper, loving relationship with someone, if they want to actually be more empowered even in work or school or being a better parent. It's like sexual empowerment does all those things. If it's someone that, like, I want more peace of mind, I want to have more health, if I want to just get rid of the clutter. I want to get clarity if I want to, also have a better love life. I might say something like the Tantra Part 1 weekend or something that I think might support them. If they say something like, I just want to study algebra, or I want to really take a class on how to feed babies, or, something like that, I say, okay, well, good luck. I wish you the best. I believe in you, but I don't have anything that can help you with that, And so I don't even bring up anything unless I think that can actually help them with something they specifically said they wanted, right? And I've never, if I'm coming from a place of really wanting to care for them, if I'm coming from a place of legitimately wanting to serve, and it never comes across as weird or bad or wrong, at least from my perspective, and frankly, if someone's like, ooh, that's too personal, I don't just met you, I don't want to have any real conversation with you, I just want to keep it surfacey and so forth, it's like, okay, you probably don't want to be my friend, because I'm a guy that really wants to get in there deep. I want to have real relationships and so forth. And that's cool. I mean, there's lots of people out there, but I want to surround myself with people that are stretching their comfort zone, that want to grow, that want to expand, that love life, that want the best that life has to offer, because those people also inspire me. And so I'm going to surround myself with people that are, living life fully, just like I am. Does any of that resonate, or what are you hearing from what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is resonating a bit. I'm kind of hearing, I think I'm going into these like for me, I'm very good at the caring part, and I'm very good about it, and then I kind of get stuck there, and it almost feels like I'm saying, what do you want, or feeling like I'm supposed to say, what do you want, to A, complete my goal of having enough enrollment conversations, and B, because it's like I want to hear it, but I'm just like, I'm supposed to say, what do you want? And I'm not really coming from that place, even though I genuinely care about them, and the people I picked, I actually want to support genuinely. Those are the people I'm trying to have these conversations with. It does actually help me feel a little bit better about not feeling like it's an imposition. And I realize, intellectually in my mind, I know that that's a silly thing to say, but it definitely has been an issue for me. So I am happy to kind of hear that. And most of the people I do know and would be happy to interact at a deeper level.
Yeah, and we have a lot of stuff around like sales, for instance, right? Like, because we've all been sold to, we've all had people pressuring us, we've all had people that have been coming not from our needs, but from their own needs. And we've been people attempted to manipulate us, and so there's a lot, we've never had a more suspicious and protected audience that we have in America today, because we get hit by, media, and we get hit by, all this stuff that is not really for our benefit, or at least it doesn't feel that way. So when you have actually someone who has a one-on-one conversation with you because they really care, it kind of cuts through the clutter a bit. And but the key is actually get excited about it, because you want to make a difference for people. You get excited and passionate about it because it's something that really was cool for you. If you aren't intrinsically passionate about it, or if you can't connect with the excitement of it or the value that you're giving to them, then don't talk about it. It's like, you don't have to enroll anybody in anything, but it's a way, when you get good at this skill, because there's something stopping you, then you're going to be good at empowering people to support themselves in their lives and support you in your dreams, because it's okay to also share, these are the things that I want, and maybe there's a win-win, so that's the beauty. So you might be enrolling someone in your storytelling and say, hey, I'm looking for someone that can film me, or blah, blah, blah. And so you get into the same conversation. You say, if you run across someone that's passionate about filmmaking, you say, guess what? I'm a storyteller. I'm looking for a partner that can, blah, 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 videotape me. Would that be of interest to you? But unless you are good at enrollment, you might go, I don't want to pressure my needs on this person, and I just met the maybe, and then you'll list the window, right? Because so that's why practicing this, it just is a good practice. And when you get good at it, it becomes natural. It becomes easy, because it's what you do. And just, when I first did this, I was worse than you. I was really stuck. I had resentment. I had all this blocks and everything. And I almost quit the program that I was in, which was like a training program, because it's like, all you care about is using me for my sales skills. And you want to leverage my friends and throw them away and blah, blah. I made all this weird stuff up. And the truth of the matter is now I enroll people almost daily just because I'm just a stand in the world for what I believe in. And I love Tantra and I love what we do. And so just naturally flows out of me, so, but it doesn't feel or work or whatever. It's just a way of being. Yeah.
And, I think that's kind of what it feels like, John, for me, and perhaps where I'm getting stuck too, is that being allowed to have it be a way of being and being in that excitement and in that moment for the person. And I feel like I'm kind of being held back or holding myself back from really just allowing to relax into that and let it go and move with it and be excited. And that's a new thing for me to share. I'm used to being the one who listens, not used to being the one who really engages and goes forth.
Got it. Do you see how that could make you even a bigger friend for people or make a bigger impact in the world?
I mean, I admit I've actually had a number of enrollment conversations. I have been pushing myself. I've had 5 pretty good ones already, and each one I felt like I made a really good difference for them.
Well, there you go. So it's working. Yeah. And my storytelling, I assume, is going to incorporate sometimes some suggestions or ideas or things to help people grow and learn too. I hope,
Yeah.
So that's
I know a lot of people who hear them talk about wanting to get those kind of things for themselves. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So your whole thing of storytelling is basically a form of enrollment too. It's a way of being that inspires people to take action on their dreams. Like if you didn't want to have other people take action, I don't know that it'd be as exciting for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, okay, my phone is going to die, so I'm going to do a little rearrange and plug it in, and then we'll do the other part where you're going to enroll me. Before we stop, is this useful for you? Is this helpful as far as how to talk to?
Yeah, it has. I still need practice, and I'm still going to be doing my best in enrolling people, but I feel a little better now, and it has helped me feel a little more inspired and kind of frame it in a different way that I can work with more.
And also, it's a practice, right? Because no matter what you're doing, it's new. The more you practice, the easier it gets. It's a skill. It's not something that just is natural for most people. And, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And just like you said, you talk to 5 people and you think you made a difference for 5 people. So when you start to really see the difference, when it's every once in a while, you really make a difference for some people. I mean, I've prevented suicide, saved marriage. I mean, sometimes these things are really important and you never know how one little conversation that shows that you care about someone can radically alter their life. You can literally save a life, especially if someone's down and upset, and just check in, show you care, ask them what's going on. And it makes a profound difference, especially in today's world where very few people take the time to actually have a real conversation, even to call somebody, let alone have a face-to-face. And so the other thing you're mentioning about, sorry, still there?
Yeah.
The other thing you're mentioning about scheduling time with people is, I would say, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I want to get together and catch up. There's also something really cool I want to share with you that I think could be impactful. But let's get together. Let's talk. It's like I don't have time, blah, blah. I was like, well, you gonna eat? You gotta do lunch or something. I would, but. And if they say no, I say, well, why not? Don't you want to be friends with me? I don't know. Because I'm a nosy person. I want to find out if people, because if someone's like, you know what, I don't really want to be your friend anymore, and I don't really want to hang out with you, then I go, okay, well, thanks for letting me know. Now I can spend my time with people who really want to. And the problem is there are people out there like that, but most of them won't tell you that. Most of them will just make excuses or do weird things or whatever, and a lot of people are busy. I mean, everyone's busy, so you don't want to make that up, but I'm just saying, the more excited and passionate you are about connecting with someone and say, hey, I just really want to connect with you, then the less resistance you'll have to someone actually making the time to do it. So Okay, that's it for this call. I'm going to check in a minute, and we're going to do part 2. All right. Thank you. Let me end the call. Thanks for watching, anybody out there that's watching.